watching a presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ABC.
They're here in our house. It's attack mode. Let's get after these guys. Let's go. We're here. Give me some of that.
Excited to go play another big-time SEC atmosphere against a really good team.
We're excited for what's at stake, and we got to be ready for them.
It's going to be a physical game, blow after blow.
Yes, I like it.
When we play together, not a lot of teams can stop us. Winning the game, that's our main focus.
Our team has to go out and earn it. This is one they've been waiting on a long time.
Come on!
Just a perfect Saturday night in Athens, Georgia, one of the loveliest college towns in the landscape, and a heavyweight collision in the SEC, the Longhorns and the Bulldogs. Welcome to the SEC on ABC and Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One. It's already been a crazy day in the SEC. We check the standings up to the moment here, and Texas A&M almost lost to South Carolina. Biggest comeback in Aggie history. They were 27 down at halftime, and they stay undefeated on the season. Alabama's loss to Oklahoma doesn't really affect the Tide, so control their destiny. Auburn in the Iron Bowl 2 weeks. There you see Georgia sitting there at 6-1. It's the SEC finale tonight. Ole Miss leading Florida early. Texas sitting there at 4-1. Welcome to Vince Dooley Field at Sanford Stadium. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit. Let's not talk about Atlanta yet, though, because what's going on in Athens tonight is pretty special.
Pretty good.
First ever visit by the Longhorns. Georgia beat them twice last year. The preseason #1. Finally beginning to show on offense what Sarkisian thought and hoped they might be this season. There's progress there.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think a lot of people watched him early and kind of put him in a bucket. Okay, they're overrated. They're not the team we thought. They've had a lot of injuries. They've been able to fight through that. Arch has had to fight through a lot of adversity. And I think they've been able to come through on the other side. And I think because of that, now they're healthy and now they're a confident football team. And they feel like they have something to prove coming into an environment like this. When they entered the SEC, this is the kind of atmosphere and the challenge they wanted.
Arch started slow, was a nightmare in Columbus. People were writing him off, calling him a huge bust. That was premature. It's a complex offense. Kirk, he's improved. Sarkisian's called it a little differently. We'll get into that, but his confidence is growing.
And I think that's the most important thing. The last couple games, he's been able to go over 300 yards. Had to bring him back from really a game that looked like got away from them. And I think because of that, just watching him on the field in pregame, he looks incredibly different from the same guy week 1 when he went to Columbus. And that's what reps and adversity and getting through it. That's why you play this position. It's not just about walking out and just being the greatest to ever do it. You got to go through some adversity. Really, in his entire life, this is probably his biggest challenge he's ever been through. And he's really earned his teammates' respect with didn't point fingers, didn't make excuses. He ate it. And because of the way he handled that, I think he comes into an environment like this, like, what the heck? We've been through everything. Let's go out here. We can play with Georgia, and let's see what happens.
Protection is important. 13 sacks with the Dogs against Texas in those 2 games a year ago. Gunnar Stockton came in as a reserve, an emergency fill-in in that SEC championship game. This year, in his first year as a starter, he's also gained and improved. He's not considered preseason one of the top quarterbacks in this conference, not one of the top 10 quarterbacks in this conference, but he's playing like it now.
Yeah, and again, I think we're talking about a lot of the same things. I mean, he came in, he went against Texas last year in Atlanta in the SEC championship. But I think he's been able to find, he's had some new receivers to be able to break down and get comfortable with. And if they're going to win tonight, Zachariah Branch is going to have to make plays. A lot of the quick throws, yards after the catch, and Nate Frazier coming off the best game of his brief career. He's going to have to give them that physicality at the line of scrimmage to open up the play action and the quick throws and have some balance in this Georgia attack, because Texas can bring it if you get into some obvious passing situations.
Yeah, ferocious pass rush. If you like linebackers, tremendous matchup. Anthony Hill for the Longhorns, C.J. Allen for the Bulldogs, 2 future pros, 2 of the best of their position, patrolling the center of the field tonight. Big stuff between the hedges. The Papa John's kickoff is next after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
You're watching the Papa John's kickoff. For a better game day, order ahead.
Welcome back to Athens and the Papa John's kickoff. We talked about the importance of this game for that 12-team bracket. All-state playoff predictor. Plug in all the results, let the algorithm do its thing, and these numbers actually change minute by minute on a busy Saturday. Georgia with a win, virtual playoff lock. Even with a loss, a great chance. Texas, notice with a loss, it drops to 27%. So obviously more on the line in terms of the CFP for the Longhorns tonight. Great to have Laura Rutledge and Holly Rowe with us tonight. Here's Holly on the Texas sidelines. Holly?
Well, Chris, something's happening for Texas this week and this game that hasn't happened all season. 0 players on the injury report. This is the most healthy this team has been all year, and it is significant, particularly in the secondary where they have their safety, Michael Taft, back. He's missed the last 2 games after having thumb surgery, and tonight he is wearing a carbon fiber cast under his tape. And he said, I am so excited to be back. I'm going to run through a brick wall. He is the unquestioned leader of this team, and that will be important. Also back on offense, the best deep threat at wide receiver, Ryan Wingo. He is fully healthy, and the running backs are the best they've been all year. Now for more, let's check in with Laura Rutledge on the Bulldogs.
Well, thank you, Holly. And something we'll be watching all night long is Georgia's starting center, Drew Bobo. He's dealing with a laceration in his snapping hand that he suffered last week against Mississippi State. It required 8 stitches that are still in his hand, and Gunnar Stockton said it was so bad his pinky was practically hanging off his hand. As you see there, he has a glove that he'll be wearing throughout this game, snapping with the glove for the first time in his career. He's been working on it all week in practice, and you saw he cut out 3 fingers in that glove just to get a better grip on the ball. We'll keep an eye on that operation throughout the night. But Chris, this whole line is as healthy as it's been these last 2 weeks, and Georgia feels like that gives them a big boost.
Yeah, Laura, the same 5 the last 3 games. These quarterbacks, can they be protected tonight? Arch Manning's escapability, very important. If his guys can give him some time, Arch is hoping to build on the role he's been on the last few games. And for Gunnar Stockton, likewise, his confidence has been growing. More downfield shots. Not considered one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC at the beginning of the season. He's been playing like one this season. Can he get it done tonight in a big spot against a stout Texas defense?